I am 62 years old and I have made a choice that might surprise you. I have started to avoid people, not because I do not care, but because I have learned something profound about life, about myself, and about the power of solitude. You may be wondering, why would someone at my age, after years of building relationships and experiences, choose to distance themselves from others? Is it a sign of loneliness? Or is there something deeper at play here? You see, over the years, I have come to realize that as we grow older, we begin to understand the true value of time and energy. There comes a moment when we stop chasing after things that no longer serve us, and we start to protect our peace. At 62, I have witnessed friends and family members go through their own struggles, some with health, some with emotional burdens, and some with regrets about the past. I have spent a lot of time reflecting on what matters most now. The noise of the world, the constant demands of social interactions, the pressure to keep up with everyone's expectations. These things lose their importance as you age. Instead, what matters is feeling at peace within yourself and recognizing what truly contributes to your well-being. I am not suggesting that we should isolate ourselves or push people away, but sometimes avoiding certain people or stepping away from draining situations can help us protect our health, our happiness, and ultimately, our lives. In this video, I will share why I made this decision, the lessons I have learned, and why you might want to consider it too. By the end, you might find that embracing solitude is not about being alone. It is about finding the space you need to truly live. Aging is inevitable, but suffering does not have to be. As we grow older, our priorities shift, and we begin to understand the true value of the time we have left. I have learned that it is not the years that weigh on us, but how we choose to spend those years and how we manage the people and situations that enter our lives. When I turned 60, something changed within me. It was not just the physical signs of aging, the aches, the slower pace, the gray hairs. It was a deeper shift. I began to see the world differently. I realized that many of the relationships I had spent years nurturing, many of the social obligations I had dutifully kept, were not feeding my soul anymore. I began to notice how certain people drained me, how some conversations left me feeling empty, and how much energy I was expending on things that did not bring me joy. I remember sitting in my living room one afternoon, reflecting on the friendships and social interactions I had carried with me through the years. It was then that I understood something profound. It is easy to be surrounded by people, to keep busy with endless social engagements, but that does not always equate to fulfillment. Sometimes being in the company of others can make you feel more alone than being by yourself. I also realized that as I aged, my emotional and physical resources were no longer limitless. I could no longer afford to waste time or energy on things that did not nourish me. Science backs up much of what I felt instinctively. Studies show that as people age, they begin to prioritize emotional well-being over social obligations. Older adults often begin to focus more on close, meaningful relationships rather than maintaining a wide circle of acquaintances. This is not about shutting the world out, but about making intentional choices to preserve one's peace and joy. It is a natural part of aging to want to protect our energy from people who bring stress or negativity into our lives. Additionally, research has shown that older adults experience emotional regulation more effectively. We become better at understanding what impacts our mental and emotional health, and we grow more aware of the importance of setting boundaries. Social relationships that once seemed vital may now feel like a drain, and the need for solitude can become a powerful tool for self-preservation. This shift in focus is not a rejection of others, but a commitment to self-care. It is a lesson that I learned slowly, but it is one that I now embrace fully. The wisdom of aging teaches us that we do not need to fill our days with endless chatter, social appearances, or fulfilling other people's expectations. Instead, we need to make space for ourselves, to allow quiet moments where we can reflect, recharge, and focus on what truly matters. This is not about avoiding people forever. It is about learning to say no to things that do not serve our well-being and saying yes to the things that restore our energy, our peace, and our happiness. As we continue on this journey of life, we must learn to trust our instincts and listen to the needs of our hearts. The older we get, the more we realize that time is the most precious resource we have, and how we choose to spend it can make all the difference in our overall well-being. 1. The weight of social obligations. As we get older, the pressure to maintain every social connection begins to feel heavier. I remember my friend Mr. Henry, who had always been the life of every gathering. At 70, he realized that his energy for socializing had dramatically declined. The endless birthday parties, family dinners, and community meetings no longer felt fulfilling. Instead of enjoying these events, he began to feel exhausted. It was as though he was showing up out of obligation, not out of joy. Eventually, Mr. Henry decided to cut back, choosing only the events that truly brought him happiness. Science shows that as we age, our social circles naturally shrink, and that is not necessarily a bad thing. Research indicates that having a smaller, close-knit group of friends can actually improve our emotional health. We begin to value quality over quantity. The lesson here is that it is okay to let go of social obligations that no longer serve you. It is not selfish, it is self-care. 2. Emotional drain from negative people. Grandma Lily was always the heart of the family. She never said no to anyone and was always there for everyone who needed her. But after a few years, I began to notice a change. She started avoiding certain relatives, people who constantly complained or brought drama into her life. One day she confessed, "I realized I was giving more to them than I was getting in return. It is like trying to fill a well that has no bottom." Psychologically, negative interactions can have a significant impact on our mental health. Studies show that toxic relationships filled with negativity or constant conflict can elevate stress and even shorten life expectancy. The takeaway here is clear: avoid people who leave you feeling emotionally drained. It is not about abandoning others, but about protecting your own mental health. 3. The freedom of solitude. At 62, I have come to appreciate the power of solitude. It does not mean being lonely. Rather, it means creating a space where I can think, reflect, and connect with my inner self. I remember my dear friend, Mr. Lee, who, after his wife passed away, spent a lot of time alone. Initially, his family worried about him, but over time, he found comfort in his own company. He started gardening, reading, and reflecting. In his solitude, he discovered a deeper sense of peace and purpose. Research shows that solitude, when embraced in healthy doses, can help us recharge and improve our mental clarity. It is in these quiet moments that we can often find the answers to the questions we have been avoiding. The lesson here is that solitude is not a punishment, it is a gift. Embrace it and allow it to nourish you. 4. The need for personal boundaries. Over the years, I learned that setting personal boundaries is not only necessary but crucial. I recall Mrs. Thompson, a neighbor of mine who was always available to lend a hand. But when she reached her 60s, she found herself saying yes to everything. Helping friends move, volunteering for every event, attending every family gathering. Eventually, she became overwhelmed, and her health began to suffer. It took a toll on her energy, and she realized that saying yes all the time was slowly draining her. Research supports this. When we fail to set boundaries, we increase stress and can even damage our physical health. The key lesson here is that it is okay to say no. Boundaries are necessary for preserving your health, well-being, and peace of mind. 5. The power of saying goodbye. There is something bittersweet about letting go of certain relationships. I think of my old friend, Mr. John, who had been in my life for decades. Over time, I noticed that our friendship was no longer bringing the joy it once did. Conversations had become repetitive, and we no longer shared the same values. Eventually, I realized that it was time to say goodbye, not in anger, but with understanding. It was a hard decision, but it was the right one. Psychologically, we tend to hold on to relationships out of habit, even when they no longer bring us happiness. But letting go is often the healthiest choice. Studies indicate that letting go of unhealthy relationships can reduce stress and lead to a happier life. The lesson here is that it is okay to let go of relationships that no longer serve you. It is not about cutting people out. It is about giving yourself permission to move on. If you are still with me, I want to take a moment to hear from you. I know these topics can stir up emotions and reflections, especially if you have walked this path yourself or are beginning to feel the changes I have mentioned. Maybe you, like me, have found peace in solitude, or perhaps you have struggled with the idea of letting go of relationships that no longer serve you. Have you ever felt the weight of social obligations pulling at you, even when your heart says no? If any of this resonates with you, I encourage you to pause and think about it. Take a moment to reflect. What has your journey looked like as you have gotten older? Now, I want to hear from you. In the comments below, share your thoughts. What is one lesson you have learned as you have aged? What has changed in the way you view your relationships or your social circles? Do you feel the need to avoid certain people or situations? And if so, why? Let us make this a space of shared wisdom and reflection, where we can learn from each other's experiences. It is important to remember that no two journeys are the same, and your story might offer insights that someone else needs to hear today. Whether you are in your 50s, 60s, or beyond, we all have valuable wisdom to share. Life's greatest lessons often come from those who have lived it and are willing to reflect on it honestly. If this video has made you think deeply about the decisions you have made or the changes you are experiencing, I encourage you to share this with someone you care about. You may be surprised by how many people feel the same way, but have not yet found the words to express it. You are not alone in these thoughts and feelings. So go ahead, take a moment and comment below. I would love to hear which part of this video spoke to you the most. What surprised you? What do you agree or disagree with? Let us have an open conversation, as that is how we all grow. And remember, it is okay to feel conflicted. It is okay to question your relationships and your choices. These are normal parts of the aging process, and embracing them with understanding and care can lead to a more fulfilling life. Let us continue to learn together. As we reach the end of this journey together, I want to share something deeply personal, something that has touched my heart in a way that no other lesson ever has. It is a truth that I have learned only through reflection, experience, and the passage of time. This lesson is about regret, the kind of regret that creeps up on you when you realize how much time you have spent on things that did not matter, and how little time you have left to change course. I remember one of the most profound moments of my life, sitting beside my dear friend, Mrs. Roberts, on her last day. She had lived a long and full life, but as she neared the end, she said something that I will never forget. I wish I had spent less time pleasing others, less time worrying about what people thought of me. I wish I had let go of the things that drained me sooner and focused more on what brought me peace. It was as if all the years of her life had crystallized into that one powerful reflection. Mrs. Roberts had given so much of herself to others, her family, her friends, her community, that she had almost forgotten what it meant to live for herself. She spent her final days surrounded by the love of those she had helped, but I could see in her eyes a quiet sorrow. Not for what she had done, but for what she had not done. She had spent her energy on the wrong things, and now there was not enough time left to make up for it. That moment stayed with me long after her passing. I thought about all the things I too had placed at the forefront of my life: social expectations, family obligations, the need to please others, and how much of that had taken me away from the simple, quiet moments of life. The time I had spent worrying about what others thought, the time I had invested in draining relationships, The time I had not spent focusing on my own joy, my own peace, it all weighed heavily on me. Regret, as I have learned, is a natural part of life, especially as we grow older. We all have our moments of wishing we had done things differently. But here is the truth I want to leave you with. Regret can be a powerful teacher. It can open your eyes to what truly matters. The key is to learn from it before it is too late. If there is one thing I want you to take away from this video, it is this. Do not wait until you are at the end of your life to realize what you have been missing. Do not wait until it is too late to say the things you have been holding back, or to let go of relationships that no longer serve you. Do not wait until time has run out to choose peace over obligation. Our lives are finite, but we still have the power to change the way we live, no matter our age. The regrets of the past can only shape our future if we allow them to. If you are still with me, I ask you to consider, what would it feel like to make different choices now? To begin today rather than waiting until it is too late? This is the real lesson I have learned in my 62 years, that life is short and we have only so much time to make the changes we need to make. Choose wisely and choose now. As we come to the end of this conversation, I want to take a moment to reflect on everything we have shared today. Life, especially as we grow older, has a way of teaching us lessons, some of them gentle, others more difficult. But what I have learned is that these lessons are not just about the passage of time. They are about how we choose to live within that time. Each stage of life brings its own set of challenges, its own joys, and its own opportunities for growth. And while aging may seem daunting at times, it is also a gift, a chance to look back, to reflect, and to make the changes we need to live a life that is true to ourselves. In my own journey, I have come to understand that the pursuit of peace and happiness often involves letting go of things that no longer serve us, including people, habits, and even expectations. It is a choice to put yourself first, without guilt, and to live intentionally, embracing the things that truly matter. We talked about the weight of social obligations, the emotional drain caused by negative relationships, and the quiet freedom that comes from embracing solitude. We discussed the importance of setting boundaries and the power of letting go. These are not just tips or lessons, they are truths that come from years of living, of experiencing both joy and heartache, of learning from the past and making choices for the future. But beyond these lessons, there is one overarching truth that I want you to remember. No matter where you are in life, no matter how many years you have lived or how many you have left, it is never too late to make a change. It is never too late to start living for yourself, to prioritize your peace, and to choose the relationships and experiences that bring you joy. Life is fragile. Our time here is not infinite, and we must remember that we do not have to fill every moment with obligations, with worry, or with regret. We have the power to choose how we spend our days, how we spend our energy, and with whom we share our time. The choices we make today shape the life we live tomorrow, and we have the freedom to change direction at any point along the way. As we reflect on everything we have discussed, I hope you can find comfort in knowing that you are not alone in your feelings. Whether you have been contemplating these changes for years or are just beginning to recognize the need for them, know that the path ahead is yours to create. Take the lessons you have learned and use them to build a life that reflects your true values, your true needs, and your true desires. Our time is precious, and while we may not be able to turn back the clock, we can always choose how to move forward. In the end, it is not the years that matter. It is how we live those years. Embrace the wisdom that comes with age, and let it guide you toward a future that is peaceful, fulfilling, and true to yourself. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I hope the lessons we have discussed today bring you a sense of clarity, peace, and purpose. And remember, it is never too late to live the life you deserve. As we near the end of our time together, I want to sincerely thank you for spending these moments reflecting on life and the choices we make. I know that many of the thoughts and lessons shared today are deeply personal, and I hope they have given you something to reflect on. If you found anything in this video that resonated with you, I encourage you to take action today. First, I invite you to like this video. It might seem like a small action, but it helps others discover this content. Content that might change their perspective or offer the wisdom they need right now. If you found value in the lessons shared, I believe others will too. So if this message touched your heart, show your support with a simple like. Second, I encourage you to comment below. I truly want to hear from you. Your story, your reflections, and your experiences are valuable, not only to me, but to the entire community of viewers who are navigating similar life stages. Share your thoughts. What did you find most surprising or insightful? What part of your life are you now considering changing? Perhaps you have your own wisdom to share, or maybe you want to express something you have never shared before. Whatever it is, your voice matters. Leave a comment below and let us continue this conversation. Third, if you know someone who could benefit from this video, someone who is in their later years, or someone who is close to you and might be struggling with similar feelings of regret, loneliness, or social obligations, please share this video with them. You never know how much a simple message can mean to someone who feels unseen or unheard. A share could be the reminder they need to embrace change, to put themselves first, or to take the first step toward living a more intentional life at all. Finally, I ask you to subscribe to this channel. If the themes of emotional growth and wisdom resonate with you, subscribing will ensure that you stay connected with this content. I promise to continue sharing stories, lessons, and insights that will support you on your journey, no matter your age. Remember, the choices you make today can shape the future ahead of you. Let us build this community together, one that values self-care, emotional well-being, and the wisdom of those who have lived a full life. If this video inspired you, do not let that inspiration fade. Take action and let us keep this conversation alive. Thank you again for being part of this. I look forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to seeing how we can all make small changes that lead to a better tomorrow. This call to action encourages viewers to engage emotionally, reflect on the content, and take concrete actions to help both themselves and others. It emphasizes community building and the power of sharing insights. Let me know if you need further adjustments.